So get the straight scoop when you're considering mutual funds. It's a big deal. Many people put their absolute life savings, net worth, everything they've got into these mutual funds, and they are a disaster waiting to happen. Also, consider Rule 72. That's right, Rule and the number 72. What that means is you'll typically find out by using this how long it will take you to double your money. So if you're invested in a mutual fund that's, say paying 10% a year annualized, then it would take you, so you take your rate of return, divide that by 72, that's the number of years to double your investment. So if you're earning 10%, it's going to take you a little over 7 years to double your money. For some of you, that might be perfectly fine. You might say, hey, I've got lots of time. I'm not worried about that. I'm good with that. But for others, maybe you're approaching your mid 50s and you got your retirement plan in range, and you're thinking, wow, I'm not quite where I need to be, then maybe a higher return would be worth it for you. I think in order to get a higher return than what mutual funds are paying you, you've got to go with individual stocks. Many of you know my story. I worked on Wall Street during the decade of the 90s. I was in my 20s. I actually got hired at 20 years old to be a financial advisor. And I was trained by Merrill Lynch and Citigroup. So I had some of the best training out there. So I worked with high net worth individuals. Some of these individuals were worth hundreds of millions of dollars. One in particular was the heir to the General Motors fortune. And funny story, or interesting story, he was adopted. So he wasn't even born into the family. He was adopted and inherited. He and his twin brother, both adopted, inherited a lot of money. And I worked with them on their portfolios. So I had a chance to work with some very affluent, successful people. And each one of my clients, I asked the same thing. I would always ask, hey, how did you get this money? What did you do? And it was fascinating. The response was basically one of 3 different ways that they achieved that level of income. One, they owned a business. Many of my clients were business owners, very astute business people, taught me some amazing skills, basically people skills, how to look people in the eye, how to shake hands properly, like just really important things to learn as a business person. And then business owners, also inheritance. Many of my clients inherited their wealth. And I think we're going to see more and more generational wealth being passed down during this time. We're starting to see, I guess maybe because I'm at that age where it's like, a lot of people, parents in their 70s, just starting to see a lot of people with faltering health, or just around us in our neighborhood even. So that's an interesting phenomenon. So inheritance is another way. Third way is actually winning the lottery. I had a few clients who won the lottery, quite interesting people, and they were certainly smart enough and astute enough to invest it.